Got his composure, like he said, let me get my shoes, like that kind of stuff. Kind of pulled himself together and then got up and showed us that he was all right. Great tax policy. I like his foreign policy a lot, like the Abraham Accords. Those are pretty good.
Oil fields.
Yeah, the oil fields. All of his foreign policy, domestic policy, all that kind of stuff. Mostly just the tax cuts. I was making or saving way more back then than I was now. Groceries have gone up like 70%. Everything's going crazy now.
It's actually kind of insane that everyone's kind of saying virtually the same stuff. It's like taxes, the American government is way too bloated. That all right. So the New York Post, the most credible place that we've seen, and this is a piece by Miranda Devine. I wanna do a little bit of research on her after this. Donald Trump and his supporters make a triumphant return to the scene of his first assassination attempt. All right, let's see what this is all about. You were able to save more money back then. There's people talking about saving the jobs because drill, baby, drill. I mean, Trump in office, he said within the first 90 days he wants to bring energy down to half. And America does have so much oil. Now, there's a different debate that we can have of like if we...
I think he's very courageous. I think that he knows that he was saved by God, that God has a special purpose and a mission for him in his life. And he's coming back here to make sure that
keep using other people's oil and drain the reserves. In the long run, America will have the last bit of oil, so we'll technically be on top, but that is playing a super long game. And I think right now we kind of have to drill, baby, drill a little bit just to bring energy down, because everything is just so expensive, and energy trickles down to really gasoline, natural energy, and electricity, in my eye. Also water.
Message is delivered to the American people.
So excited to see him finish the speech he wanted to do on July 13th. Oh my gosh, because I want him to make America better and great again. I know he can do that. Things were so much better when he was president, so I know he can.
This chick in the background, I'm sorry. Anybody want a water?
Can do it again.
Because we're going down the...
got power, you know what I mean? I mean, who else would come somewhere where they got shot?
Also, him coming back to Butler, Pennsylvania, I think is cool. I don't know if it is like it's a cool thing. I think it shows strength, and I in the face of fear, right? Because I do think most people who got shot at Butler, Pennsylvania, probably wouldn't do a rally at the same exact spot that they got shot at.
I admire him for that. I think he's confident. Like, coming back here, he's really confident about it. Why am I voting for Trump? Because border control, we definitely...
Drain if we don't change some things. We got to close the border. We got to eject all the illegals. We got to cut the size of government, which is just grossly bloated. And there's a good start, but there's a lot more after that.
I'm very happy that he's coming back. It's such a historical moment in my life. So I'm excited.
Speaks volumes.
I agree the same. I like that he's not backing down and he's coming back to show that he's strong.
Because this country's going downhill so bad that if he doesn't come and be president now, this country's not going to be able to be saved. It's time for a change.
I think it's great. I think it's gutsy. I think it really just shows strength to the people that he's like with us and not just hiding, like ducking away from all this kind of stuff, you know? Like if anyone else got shot at, they'd just duck away, run away like that. But he got up, showed that he was good, made sure everyone else was good, all that kind of stuff. But like he didn't duck away and hide, stay on the ground like that. Instead of running off.
All of the people that want to save our nation, save the candidate Trump, who wants to save our nation, and we are against things done illegally. Things that are done illegally and at the federal level, a whole list of them, and MAGA 2024.
We just an example for all of us, and that is how we have to be right now in our country.
I think he has taught all of us conservatives how to fight back. You rally people, you go after, you don't mince words, and you're not afraid to say what needs to be said. You're not politically correct, and you stand for people
fair.
over anything else.
Brave me. It's not easy to get out, get a mortgage. I want things better for our kids.
Yeah, rent's out of control. That is indeed crazy. Okay, so this is a testament and courage of the fortitude of Donald Trump and his supporters that on Saturday, tens of thousands returned to the scene of the first assassination attempt on former president at Butler, Pennsylvania, to hear him speak. With questions still unanswered about why he is ever placed in harm's way on July 13th, Trump stood in the same place and spoke at the same time as he did when the assassin's bullet came within a hair's breadth of killing him, but miraculously only clipped the top of his ear. So that's kind of a nice little piece right there, but what is this? FBI tells, I wanted to see this. I mean, this is nowhere near in the article. This is what I'm afraid of. Like, this is why you can't just read the headlines. You got to go click the article. FBI agent tells Trump assassination witness that Trump wasn't actually shot, that he hit his head on the podium. I didn't see this anywhere in this article. I'm looking, I'm kind of scanning through. Okay. It was a further down article. Okay, got it. In the bleachers behind Trump, a firefighter's helmet and jacket was stationed as a memorial to volunteer for the fireman Corey Compartator. He was 50, and he was killed by one of the bullets that missed Trump. As by people who said that this was a setup, that it wasn't real, please just apologize. Trump opened his remarks by paying tribute to Corey, whose family he had just met backstage, and hailing survivors of David Dutch and Jim, who were badly injured by the other bullets. It was a somber speech, marked by the moments of silence for Trump's fallen supporter. But the tragedy of the occasion, with the enormous American flag fluttered overhead as it did with the would-be assassin stuck only underscored, and then everyone knew there was a stark choice ahead of the country on November 5th. Sorry, y'all. I'm stroking out over here. All right, so I don't want to keep... Okay, here we go. I'd like to ask you, who would you rather have facing down Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping? Trump's running mate J.D. Vance asked the crowd, referencing Trump's media-shy opponent, VP Kamala Harris, someone who is afraid of interviews and with friendly American media, or someone who faces down two assassins and returns triumphantly to the place where he got shot. For all the brio of Trump and his valiant supporters on Saturday, an uncomfortable pall hung over the rally. Trump is lucky to be alive after being targeted at least twice by the assassins in the past 12 weeks. How on earth did the Secret Service and the FBI get it wrong? This is the question that Dr. Joseph Maine asked himself every day since Butler rally. The Obstetrician was sitting a few rows in front of Mr. Jim and about 10 feet away from Trump when the bullets started flying. He helped carry Jim's body out in the bleachers and was among 36 witnesses detained by Secret Service until past midnight. Maine, 51, had a perfect view of the hit on Trump and recorded reams of the video on his phone as the shot rang out. But the peculiar attitude of the Secret Service and FBI agents who questioned him night was giving him grave fears for Trump's safety. First, he said the Secret Service agent who was leading him into the witness area took a call from what he assumed was his supervisor, in which she downplayed the assassination attempt, saying that only shots were fired and that there were casualties in the crowd and the president was unarmed. Men could hear the voice on the other end ask, "The president is unarmed?" ? So he leaned over towards the phone and said, "No, he was shot with a bullet in the right ear." The annoyed agent, I love how that's annotated there, or like emphasized here, moved the phone to the left ear and gave me a look, he said. Next, Mine was questioned about the FBI and recalls that he got a ridiculous debate with the agent who insisted Trump had not been shot. He said yes, he was, Mine said. He turned his head and the bullet clipped the very top of his ear. I saw some blood and tissue squirt out onto the ether. The agent told him, "Stop it. Trump wasn't hit. You don't understand that the podium is armored." When the Secret Service tackled President Trump, he hit his head on the podium. Oh, so the agent is telling him what he saw. According to Mine, I said, the problem is that I saw it. I have the photographic memory. This is what I saw. I have it on video. He says he heard another agent in the background say, "Oh, Jesus Christ." Later that night, he noticed a schism develop between the FBI and the Secret Service agent at the scene who overheard snatches of the FBI's phone conversation. It was like, oh, clearly this is a problem. This is a massive screw-up. This is all on the Secret Service. We're just here processing a crime scene, Mine said. Despite the statement on Trump's doctor saying his ear injury was caused by a bullet, the New York Times video reconstruction of the scene showing that he had been struck by the bullet, the FBI director Chris Wray chose to cast doubt on that fact in Congress in testimony 2 weeks later. There are some questions about whether or not it was a bullet or shrapnel that hit his ear, Rice said, infuriating Trump and forcing the FBI to issue a statement later confirming that it was indeed a bullet that had struck the former president's ear. Okay, so I apologize. I just didn't read far enough. The FBI agent tells Trump assassin witness that Trump wasn't actually shot. He hit his head on the podium. The gaslighting by our own government. I feel like we're in a state of tyranny. I feel like our government is tyrannical at the moment, and we have just completely gone downhill. This is insane. And it's also insane to me that we live in a state or in a time right now where where love, empathy, patience, and kindness isn't the first thing that's employed. We're talking about making America great, and Democrats are pointing the finger saying how dangerous it is for Trump and everything. But everything that I'm hearing from his side is make America great again, make America healthy again, make America safe again, make America wealthy again, make America educated again. How can you say any of these things are a threat to democracy, a threat to America? Right now, it's insane to say, but President himself